Are you afraid that another year is passing while your real life still has not begun? Maybe you keep looking backward, judging every wrong choice, every slow season, and every unfinished dream. But tonight, you will hear why feeling lost does not mean your life is being wasted. Put your phone down for a moment, let the rain slow your thoughts, and stay until the end. You may see your life differently when the morning comes. There is a question that becomes louder when the world becomes quiet. It may not bother you in the morning when there are things to do and people to answer. It may stay hidden while you are walking somewhere, working on something, watching a screen, or pretending that the day is normal. But at night, when the room is still and the rain begins to touch the window, the question comes closer. Am I wasting my life? It is not always a dramatic question. Sometimes it sounds soft, almost tired, almost calm. But once it appears, the whole room can feel different. The bed no longer feels like rest. The phone no longer feels like comfort. The future no longer feels open. Even the silence feels like it is waiting for an answer. Maybe you know this feeling. You look at the ceiling and remember all the things you thought you would have done by now. You think about the person you imagined you would become. More confident, more stable, more focused, more proud. Someone with a clear direction, a peaceful mind, and a life that seems to make sense. Then you look at the real night around you, the unfinished plans, the tired body, the open tabs, the old mistakes, the small promises you made to yourself and quietly broke. And the mind can be very cruel in that moment. It does not say, you are tired. It says, you are failing. It does not say, you need care. It says, you are behind. Outside the window, rain falls in thin lines. The streetlights blur into soft amber shapes. The dark blue of the night spreads across the glass. Somewhere far away, a vehicle passes, then fades into the wet road. On the desk, there is an open notebook. It is not special, just paper, ink, and a few pages filled with plans. A better routine, a better future, a way to make more money, a list of things to fix, a quiet promise to stop wasting time. The notebook does not speak, but somehow it feels loud, because sometimes a plan is not only a plan. Sometimes it becomes proof that you are not enough yet. A clean page can begin to feel like a judge. A goal can turn into a threat. A dream can become one more thing you use against yourself. This is one of the strange pains of modern life. People are told to chase a better future almost every day. Build more, learn more, earn more, improve yourself. Find your passion, fix your body, fix your mind, fix your life before it is too late. At first, those words may sound useful. They may even feel exciting. Growth is not a bad thing. Wanting a better life is not wrong. There is nothing shameful about working hard, learning a skill, saving money, or trying to create more freedom. The problem begins when life stops feeling like something you live and starts feeling like something you must constantly prove. A slow day becomes a bad day. A tired evening becomes weakness. A quiet season becomes evidence that you have fallen behind. Even rest starts to need an explanation. You cannot simply rest. You must deserve it. You cannot simply be confused. You must fix it. You cannot simply move slowly. You must apologize for not moving faster. This is how ambition becomes heavy. Not because ambition itself is wrong, but because fear begins to sit behind it. Fear says, if you do not become successful soon, you will mean nothing. Fear says, if other people arrive before you, your life will be smaller. Fear says, if you are not impressive, you are invisible. And after hearing that voice for long enough, a person can become tired in a very deep way. Not only tired from work, not only tired from study, not only tired from responsibilities, tired from measuring every part of life. You measure your age, you measure your progress, you measure your energy, you measure your discipline. You measure your discipline. You measure your value through the eyes of people who may not even be watching. Then, at the end of the day, when your mind should be allowed to sleep, it opens the scoreboard again. What did you do today? Was it enough? Are you closer? Are you late? Are you wasting time? No wonder the night feels heavy. The rain grows stronger for a while. It covers the window until the city outside becomes unclear. The buildings are still there, but their edges disappear. The harsh lines soften. The world looks less certain, and somehow more honest. Rain has a way of disturbing things gently. It does not break the world open. It does not shout. It simply falls again and again until the dust settles and the air changes. Maybe a tired life needs something like that. Not another loud command. Not another promise to become perfect by morning. Not another plan made from panic. Maybe what you need first is not more pressure, but a softer room inside yourself. Because the question, am I wasting my life, is often not really about time. It is about fear. Fear that you made the wrong choices. Fear that other people are moving faster. Fear that your future is closing. Fear that the person you were supposed to become is getting further away. But fear is not the same as truth. A tired mind can sound very certain, but still be wrong. When you are exhausted, the mind can turn anything into proof. A messy room becomes proof. A missed deadline becomes proof. A quiet week becomes proof. Someone else's success becomes proof. A photo online becomes proof. A single mistake from years ago becomes proof that everything is ruined. But life is not that simple. A difficult season is not the whole story. A slow year is not a wasted life. A mistake is not a final sentence. A pause is not an ending. You are allowed to be in the middle of things. That sounds simple, but many people forget it. They look at their lives as if every chapter should already make sense. They want to understand the road while they are still walking through the fog. They want proof that everything will become meaningful before they are willing to be kind to themselves. But most lives are not understood in real time. While you are living them, they often feel messy, strange, too slow, too ordinary, full of unfinished thoughts and imperfect days. Only later do some things begin to connect. The job that did not work, the friendship that changed, the dream that lost its shape, the year when nothing moved the way you wanted, the night when you finally admitted you were tired. At the time, those moments may feel like failure. Later, they may become the quiet places where your life turned towards something more honest. The rain taps against the window, softer now, more steady. There are drops that run quickly down the glass. Others move slowly, stopping halfway, holding the light for a moment before continuing. None of them seem wrong. None of them seem late. They simply move in the way the glass allows. Human beings are not raindrops, of course, but sometimes a small image can be kinder than a large explanation. You have been told to move as if every life should follow the same speed. Finish school by this age. Find a path by this age. Earn enough by this age. Become confident by this age. Be healed, successful, attractive, disciplined, and happy before anyone notices your uncertainty. But there is no single correct speed for becoming a person. Some people begin early and change direction later. Some people look lost for years and then find a quiet road that finally belongs to them. Some people bloom in public. Others grow in private, where nobody claps and nothing looks impressive. Slow growth is hard because it does not give you much proof. It does not always look like progress. Sometimes it looks like saying no to things that used to control you. Sometimes it looks like needing more sleep. Sometimes it looks like losing interest in a dream that was built from fear. Sometimes it looks like becoming less willing to abandon yourself just to be admired. That kind of change is not easy to turn into a post. No one usually takes a photo of the moment they stop being cruel to themselves. No one sees the small victory of closing an app because it keeps making the heart hurt. No one applauds when you choose rest instead of another hour of comparison. Still, those moments matter. They are quiet, but they are not empty. A life is not only made from achievements, it is also made from the private decisions that help you stay alive inside your own days. There is a very heavy way to live, and many people know it well. It is the life where every action carries fear underneath it. You study, but not only because you want to learn. You study because you are afraid of becoming nothing. You work, but not only because you want stability. You work because you feel you must prove your right to rest. You set goals, but not only because you care about the future. You set them because the present version of you feels unacceptable. From the outside, this can look responsible, even impressive. But inside, it feels like running from a shadow that keeps following you. And sooner or later, the body begins to speak. It speaks through heaviness, through poor sleep, through a tight chest, through losing joy in things that once felt meaningful, through the strange sadness of doing everything you are supposed to do and still not feeling at home. If this is where you are, please do not turn your tiredness into another reason to hate yourself. Tiredness is not always weakness. Sometimes tiredness is a message. It says something has been too heavy for too long. It says the way you are moving may not be gentle enough to last. It says your life needs care, not just pressure. It says the person inside the plan is still alive and needs to be heard. The rain outside does not ask the street to change immediately. It falls, gathers, waits, slips into small cracks, softens hard ground, and moves on. Perhaps healing is similar. Not a dramatic transformation, not a perfect new identity, not a sudden version of you who never doubts, never compares, never feels afraid. Just a slow return, a return to the body, a return to honest needs, a return to a voice inside you that is quieter than fear, but more true. That voice may not say much at first. It may only whisper simple things. I am tired. I need rest. This dream does not feel like mine anymore. I want a life that does not punish me every morning. I want to grow, but I do not want to disappear in the process. Those are not lazy thoughts. They are human thoughts. A person can want a better future and still need tenderness now. A person can care deeply about life and still move slowly. A person can be ambitious without becoming violent toward themselves. The world often acts as if gentleness and discipline are enemies, but they do not have to be. Gentleness does not mean giving up. It means you stop using shame as fuel. Discipline does not have to sound like a threat. It can sound like care. You can build a routine because your life deserves support, not because you are disgusting without one. You can learn a skill because curiosity is still alive, not because fear is screaming that you are late. You can work toward money, freedom, and stability without turning your current life into something worthless. There is a difference between moving forward and running away from yourself. The first one can become peaceful. The second one never ends. If this quiet story is helping your mind slow down, you can gently like this video and subscribe to Calmer Rhythm Podcast, so this calm space can find you again on another heavy night. No pressure, only if it feels right. Now let us come back to the room. The lamp is still glowing. The notebook is still open. The rain has softened, and the window carries small trails of water that catch the warm light. Nothing has been magically solved. That is important. The future is still unknown. The plans are still there. The questions have not disappeared. Tomorrow may still ask for effort. There may still be bills, classes, work, messages, choices, and things you do not feel ready for. But maybe the room has changed in one quiet way. Maybe the question is no longer only, am I wasting my life? Maybe another question has entered beside it. What if I do not have to hate myself into becoming better? Stay with that for a moment. What if your life does not need to be built from panic? What if your next step can come from care? What if slow does not mean meaningless? What if you are not behind, but simply tired of chasing a version of life that never gave you peace? This does not mean you stop trying. It does not mean you abandon your future. It does not mean every difficult thing should be avoided. It means you stop treating yourself like a broken machine. You are a living person. A living person has limits. A living person has seasons. A living person changes shape. A living person sometimes needs darkness, rain, and quiet before the next direction becomes clear. There is no shame in being unfinished. Everything alive is unfinished. The tree outside the window is unfinished. The river is unfinished. The sky after rain is unfinished. Even the morning that has not arrived yet is waiting to become itself. Your life is also allowed to be in progress. Not every day has to become a lesson. Not every season has to prove its value immediately. Not every hour has to be useful. Some time is not wasted. Some time is recovery. Some silence is not emptiness. Some silence is where you finally hear yourself again. Some delays are not punishment. Some delays keep you from walking deeper into a life that was never yours. The rain becomes lighter now, almost like a memory of rain. A few drops still move down the glass, slowly and separately. The city outside begins to return in soft shapes. The notebook can stay open a little longer. You do not have to cross everything out. You do not have to throw away your dreams. You do not have to decide tonight who you are going to be. Maybe all you need to do is change the voice that speaks over your life. Instead of, I am wasting time, try, I am learning what kind of time feels true. Instead of, I should be further ahead, try, I can take the next step from where I am. Instead of, everyone else is passing me, try, their road is not proof that mine is wrong. Instead of, I have ruined my life, try, I am still here, and that means the story is still open. These are small sentences. But sometimes a small sentence can become a small shelter, and a tired heart does not always need a grand solution. Sometimes it only needs one place to rest without being attacked. Tonight, let this be that place. Let the rain carry some of the pressure away. Let the dark room become gentle instead of lonely. Let the open notebook become paper again, not a court. Let your body remember that sleep is not a reward for perfect people. Sleep is a need. Rest is a need. Quiet is a need. Mercy is a need. You are allowed to need things. You are allowed to be slower than you expected. You are allowed to be confused without calling yourself a failure. You are allowed to begin again in a way that nobody notices. If you want, you can leave one quiet sentence in the comments. I am allowed to grow slowly. Maybe someone else will read it tonight and feel less alone. The rain is almost gone now. Only a few drops remain on the window. The lamp still gives a soft amber light. The room has not changed much, but perhaps your breathing has. A little slower, a little deeper, a little less afraid. The question may come back another night. It does that sometimes. Old fears do not disappear just because one gentle truth arrives. But when it returns, you can answer differently. Am I wasting my life? Maybe not. Maybe I am tired. Maybe I am changing. Maybe I am still learning how to live without turning every moment into a race. Maybe my life is quieter than I wanted, but not meaningless. Maybe something in me is growing where no one can see. That is enough for tonight. You do not have to solve your whole future before morning. You do not have to become impressive before you are allowed to sleep. You do not have to earn the right to be kind to yourself. Place the future down for a while, not forever, just for tonight. Place down the fear of being late. Place down the guilt over lost time. Place down the pressure to become someone quickly. Place down the sadness of comparing your private life to someone else's bright moment. Let those thoughts sit outside you, like wet stones beside the road. You can return to them tomorrow if you need to, but not now. Now there is only the room. the lamp, the rain fading away, the notebook waiting quietly, your breath moving in and out. Breathe in slowly. Let the air enter without force. Breathe out. Let a little pressure leave with it. Again, a slow breath in, a slower breath out. Whatever remains unfinished can remain unfinished for a few hours. Whatever still hurts does not need to be solved before sleep. Whatever you fear about your life can rest beside you instead of inside you. Your life is not over. Your story is not ruined. Your time has not disappeared. Something in you is still alive, still listening, still trying to find a kinder way forward. That is enough for this night. Let the room fade. Let the last drops slide down the window. Let the notebook close. Let your thoughts move farther away, like lights disappearing through rain. Rest your mind, rest your heart, rest your tired body. You are allowed to grow slowly. You are allowed to begin again gently. You are allowed to sleep. Sleep well. Calm Rhythm Podcast.